It's recording. So yeah, the gentleman from Nube.
Yeah, Nube. Mhm.
Oh, good, good. All right, yeah. So you get some, give us a little introduction of your establishment and what you bring to our community.
Awesome. Okay. I would I want to share my screen. Let me see if it'll let me do it really quick. Then we can jump into it. Okay. Yeah, so I do have like a little slide deck, but I don't know if it's gonna let me. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, appreciate the time to present to you all. My name is Akili. I'm with the Nube NYC team, Nube meaning cloud in Spanish. We are a social equity, justice involved dispensary licensee. We won our license in the first round of awards back in I think 2022 in the Bronx. The team is made up of myself, Naomi, who'll be joining us in a minute, who is the CEO. Um, and then also her brother and her father. They're all from the Bronx, um, lifelong residents of the Bronx and uptown Manhattan. I myself was actually originally born in Birmingham, Alabama, and Chicago is my home. But I've been, in Chicago and New York for the past few years. And so I've been in the regulated like legal cannabis industry for about 6 years, so certainly have experience in the space. I've been doing a lot of equity work to make sure that people that come from communities that are most harmed by the war on drugs have an opportunity to build wealth in the industry, in addition to fighting for programs like the New York program that are going to reinvest in the communities. And so now we have the opportunity, we won the license to open up a store and start to reinvest in the neighborhood that the store will be in. This location, so I'll sort of jump into that and you can see some of that. So as I said, Nube is a multi-generational, family-owned legacy cannabis dispensary in the Bronx. Our mission is to provide a premier dispensary experience and create opportunities and jobs for the communities most harmed by the war on drugs. Our journey in the industry has been covered by a lot of outlets, both in New York and nationally, including the City, the New York Times, the New Yorker, Forbes, Telemundo, and more. And so definitely, we're happy to share some of those articles and check those out. Um, the location for the dispensary is 3551 Boston Road in the Bronx. It's in that Williamsbridge, Baychester area. The location was originally secured by the state. The state has a program under which they're securing and building out locations for some of the first few social equity dispensaries. We were in that bunch. We're one of the last, and they secured this location and then eventually matched us with the location after they had signed the lease. And so construction on that location was, managed by the state. It's pretty much done at this point, except for, a sign and a few bells and whistles on the inside. And so, after we got matched and, there was some delays, there was lawsuits, a lot of different things that happened back and forth. But then eventually we were told to reach out to the community board and let them know about, where we are with things in the process and start getting started with the community engagement process. I saw that somebody had their hand up. Should I go ahead and take questions now, or do you want me to wait until then?
1 second. Ursula, you had a question? Ursula? We can't hear you.
Well, it's okay. I got a couple more slides and then if she's ready.
Sorry, there's always something wrong with that computer. My problem is notification.
Mhm.
What happened with the note? You just sent notification. I'm just wondering why.
So the reason is because the state. So there's a process, and I think some of the dispensaries that have opened up in the Bronx so far, they went through a different process than us, and so our license is the card license. Some other folks also have the card license, but not all those folks had a store that was built out by DASNY. So DASNY is the state agency that got this location before we had anything to do with it. They got this location to put a dispensary in it. That's the state law. They figured that out in Albany. And then we got matched with it later. Normally with those locations, the state agency was the one providing the notice because they had already secured the location and somebody was going to go in there anyway, whether it was us or somebody else. And so, as to why you were getting the location, I mean, getting notice of the location later as opposed to then, I don't have the answer to that question. And we
So
weren't,
just, they're blaming you guys.
yeah, I mean, that's fine, but I mean, also I'm a lawyer too, so I can also read the law. So.
Responsibility to notify us.
Yeah. So actually, so when we applied, so I've been a lawyer. I don't really practice anymore, but I was a lawyer for 6, 7 years too, both in the industry and before. And so what the law requires for our application, there was no location tied to it. So when we applied, there was no notice to be provided. And so, we follow the law. I know that, and we did what was required of us. But, ultimately what we want to do is, regardless of maybe who dropped the ball and stuff like that. I'm happy to have that conversation with the state if they do want to have that conversation. But what we want to do is make sure that who we are and what we actually care about and where our values are in moving forward and trying to do it right, even if there were missteps in the past. So that's all I can really say about the notice. When we applied and when we were awarded, there was no location tied to it, so there was no obligation to notify anybody of anything for our application.
Okay, so they said we're gonna move past that. I'm just
Mhm.
hoping that we will have a relationship moving forward, because I live right down the street from you, so I'll be watching you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, 100%. We want to have a
Right down,
relationship.
watching you.
Well, you got to come to the store and come check us out. So we
I'm
definitely,
dismayed.
And so,
Thank you.
what was your concern? I mean, when,
It was just, I just got notification.
but they've been involved in this since January.
I just got notification this week.
Yeah, so basically what Ursula's saying is that you guys had this location at least since December or January. So what she was saying is that why back then you guys didn't notify us about it. That's what she's trying to get at. So it's not like you just got it, that you just got the location last week and that's why you didn't notify. You guys been involved in this particular location since January, or maybe a little bit earlier. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So that's what she's getting at, just for future reference. I mean, I know the property, I know the owner of the property, I know who you're renting it from. You know what I mean? But just FYI, you guys been there since January, so you should have notified us back then, not now. That's what she's trying to get at.
Yeah,
But,
I understand.
let me finish.
Okay. Yeah.
Moving forward, I'm saying just for the, clarity for, for the committee, just be upfront, just be upfront. I mean, I personally appreciate you coming to us, letting us know that you're gonna open this establishment. So, I appreciate that. And if you have more, slides you wanna present, or if you're done, I think we're good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I got a couple more slides. Just run through real quick. I appreciate that.
Before you go any further, could you
Oh.
tell me the cross streets 3551?
Yeah. So it's Boston Road and 222nd Street, like over there near Gun Hill Road.
Where exactly?
I think I got that on here too, so you'll be able to see it. Yeah, here we go. Are you able to see that?
Okay.
You should know your cross streets if you're going to move into that plaza, that store. You should know your cross streets.
Yeah, so to be clear, the rest of the team, everybody else is from the Bronx, born and raised. I'm the one that, I'm speaking right now, but Naomi's jumping on in a minute. The rest of the team are from the Bronx. They know the streets and the neighborhood. So don't let some of my ignorance reflect on the rest of the company. I mean, they're born and raised all from the Bronx. So
You can proceed.
okay.
So, Mr. Hall, you good?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is just a little bit about the store design. It's not the final design, but look more or less like this. The ceiling actually look better. Just gives you a sense of the look and the feel of it. It's definitely a premier nice store. It'll add, additional character and a, new build out to the area. That's the location. Of course, we have parking, which is great. A lot of commuters in and around that area. It's one of the, one of the busiest roads in that area. And then I was going to leave it open for questions, but looks like we got to some. Definitely want to make time if there's any more questions.
So like I said, I know this property very well. I know the owner of the property, being that you're gonna operate it in regards to the vehicles coming in and out. So that particular corner, that area has a little more next to it that has restaurants. So how are you gonna, or what are you gonna do to provide, for safety measure for vehicles going in and out of your establishment? Like for instance, if, are you gonna have like some sort of, alarm system that if when a car's coming out, the gate is gonna sound, and if somebody's walking, they'll be able to hear that? Or this is gonna be one of those situations that dudes are gonna just go in and come out speeding, and if they hit somebody, cool, if they don't, cool also.
Yeah, no. I don't think that it'll be that. We certainly have pretty sophisticated security protocols and a system on the interior and the immediate exterior of the building. We'll look into what we can do around the gates. Again, the state built this dispensary out to their specifications. I know that, we had known about the location since January and been matched by one organization, but we had not been officially tied to the location until we signed, these other documents. So they basically built it out without consulting us, to be frank. And, so they didn't include those kind of security measures on the gates yet, but, we'll have a security guard, and we'll have some other measures to help control traffic and things like that. And certainly if people are driving dangerously or recklessly in and out of the store, then they're not gonna be welcome back to the store.
Yeah, just, I know you keep mentioning that the state built this out for you guys, but I'm just letting you know that I wanna see some sort of mechanism
Yep. No,
on the
100%.
gate. On the gate, I wanna see some sort of mechanism on that gate. And I'm gonna drive by it. I wanna see some sort of mechanism on that gate. But besides that, there's a little more next to it. A lot of elderly people walk up and down Boston Road. So I don't want somebody, not particularly somebody from your establishment, somebody that works with you, but somebody going in to buy your product, then just comes back out and, and takes one of our community members. So you could put some sort of alarm system that when somebody's gonna approach your gate, is gonna ring and it'll notify somebody walking. I would appreciate that, but I'm definitely gonna swing by and take a look at something we've done, right? We'll give you the letter of support, right? But I'm gonna wanna see that.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Anybody else got any questions? Madam Chair, hope you're feeling better. You got any questions?
Oh, I'm just annoyed at how this went down, that's all.
I know, but
Whether it's dazzling or not.
I know, but you know what?
And
I
we
mean-
didn't want to really establish a good relationship with the community board at this point. So please understand, I don't go with that kind of rhetoric that you're talking about. You should have been upfront. You knew coming into the neighborhood. You should have at least advised us that you were coming into the neighborhood. And any other community board or any other place that you go to, I hope you establish a better relationship than what you just did today.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. We certainly want to be good, good members of the community. Once we knew this was going to be our location, we committed to that. So
That was actually the chair of this committee that answered that. Any other committee members or anyone online has any comments, concerns, or questions for the gentleman?
Just,
Oh, sorry.
I just have a quick comment. We do have like shelters in the vicinity. We also have on Gun Hill Vertex, which is a substance use clinic. So just keeping in mind that, this is kind of like concerning, right? Like kind of like the influx of folks from those vicinities that shouldn't be partaking in substance use and how it may affect them. So something to keep in mind.
yeah, so this is, as I said, I've been in the industry before and I've helped open a few stores, including a dispensary in Chicago with some of my business partners. Is down the street from another substance abuse clinic. And the interesting thing, there's a few points on that. Well, one with cannabis, the legalization of cannabis tends to decrease, the use of, more harmful, some of the most harmful addictive substances. So, and then two, um, there's certainly certain price points to, legal cannabis and other things that, make it a safer option and so reduce a lot of the activity that is negative around cannabis that is more common in unregulated markets. So, we're certainly conscious of that. And, we have discretion the same way bars and restaurants do on when to serve substances to folks if they don't feel it doesn't seem like they're in the right condition or they've had too much or something. So we'll definitely keep that in mind.
Thank you. Anybody else online that wants to on Zoom that wants to make a comment, concern, question?
Yeah, I just like to say you appear to be laid back with your security. And I kind of question that to a certain extent. I'm listening to your history and what you've done in places like Chicago, but I question the amount of security that you have at this point. I'm gonna try to take a ride by there also because I just don't want you to get on News 12.
Oh, 100%. I don't want to be on News 12. I would say if you learn more about our security protocols, I think you would understand that the security protocols that we have are probably higher than any other store in the area, say for a bank, the way that regulated dispensaries operate. So I think there's a lot of confusion sometimes with folks that aren't in the industry between unregulated stores and the state regulated stores. There's an entire security plan, and the security build out at these stores is usually several hundred thousands of dollars. And so I think if you get to understand what all the security protocols and measures entail, that you'd be a little bit more comfortable. Some of that, obviously, we keep close to the chest for security reasons. We don't want to share, this button is here and this there and there, and this works that way, because then, that sort of undermines some of the effectiveness of it. But the security is pretty robust. We'll have a security agent or agents there. We'll be doing, more as much as any other regulated store in the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, and anyone else? So I'm going to assume you're looking for a letter of support from us.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion?
Bank is on his way. Oh,
No,
actually,
no,
I'm sorry, not Bank, Wade. Wade is
Leon,
on his way.
Benitez, is that,
Yeah.
Anybody wants to make a motion for the approval of send a letter of approval to the Department of Cannabis Management for this location?
What you need quorum?
What we have online.
You need quorum first. Ms. Benitez, are you needing quorum?
She's on the phone.
Well,
Are you satisfied? You satisfied?
Yeah, me personally.
If you need me to break it. In person, you need. Is
She's on the phone. Give me a second, sorry.
I'm checking
Yeah,
to see if I'm in.
did someone make the motion?
We have quorum.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We could proceed. So anybody wants to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Anyone can speak? Second?
Yeah, this is Robert Hall. I'll second it.
All right. So move. All right, my brother. I'm gonna come see you, all right?
All right, I appreciate that. Talk to you soon.
I mean, you should stick around. I mean, we have a presentation by the Mashudu Preservation Corps. We should stick around. Maybe hear what's going on in our neighborhood, all right?
Okay, yeah, I will. I'll hang on. All right, thank you.
If you want to talk, I mean, I don't want somebody else to come in there.
I'll just talk
Okay. All right.
for everybody. Hi, everyone. I'm Shruti DJ from Ocean Preservation Corporation. We are part of Montefiore and we advance the health and well-being of the communities that Montefiore serves through small business support, neighborhood development, quality housing, and local news. We hope to offset the social determinants of health, especially income, environment, and zip codes in the Wakefield and White Plains Road area. And so specifically with the White Plains Road area, we want to increase the voices of the merchants in the community, have enhanced the community identity and improved quality of life. If I had the PowerPoint up, our section of White Plains Road runs from Glen Hill 210 to 242nd Street and it runs along East 230th. And so how we're able to work in this area is through the AV NYC grant from New York City Small Business Services. And their funding allows MPC to better understand neighborhood needs, develop impactful programs, and sustain community work. And so what I was asked to present today was a summary of our activities from the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year. And so some of the programs that we provided the merchants were to build an online presence such as a website or social media, correct and have merchants take control of their Google Maps listing so it's more accurate and customers can help or find them more. Establish monthly merchant networking social meetings so merchants have a familiar face within the community, they know each other, and they can start independently advocating for themselves. And within those merchant networking socials, quarterly town halls that were a space to voice concerns about the community, such as having more clean areas, having more responsibility for corporate branches such as Popeye, banks to be able to clean instead of absorbing those fine costs. Sidewalk sales, which we did in conjunction with the farmers market that you guys might have seen, where we had merchants come out and either market their services or sell discounted merchandise. And then we also have a banner program that we hope to come out soon, where we mark the corridor with White Plains Road banners to brighten it up. And sorry,
Can we stand up for a sec?
Yeah.
So this is ongoing until when the funding?
the grant is a 3-year grant, so this is the second year, and then the last year is going to be the 24.
So for example, the farmer's market that you mentioned, are you able, like when you say sidewalk there, but even like Wakefield banner program, are you able to sponsor banners on White Plains?
Yeah.
Like promoting the farmer's market?
The farmers market, or specifically also the businesses on White Plains Road and CB12, like we would have CB12.
And this is a grant, so you cover it or we'd have to pay for it?
We would, so the grant does not cover making banners, so MPC would do the majority of the cost, but if CB12 or merchants wanted to put their ad on it, they would pay like $150
Per sign, and it stays up there.
permanently, yeah, and then we maintain it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, you guys can't see this, but it's just an example of, we made like a building your own online presence manual guide for store owners to give them tips and tricks to maintain their social media and online site, and that they could contact me or MPC in general in order to reserve a consultation slot, and we could talk about their target goals for online growth, in addition to their brick and mortar. And this, I have more information on the banner program, so it's just to help mitigate the physical determinants of health, such as environment and zip code, and foster a stronger sense of community and brighter environment. I had a picture of the banner But this is a lot of that information is from my previous presentation that I did for this committee. And so going on to the new information, so what we did a lot of every single month, we had merchant networking socials, which informed merchants of NYC programming, provided a channel of communication for the merchants, and set space and activities for merchants to become comfortable and familiar with one another. So month to month, we have 5 to 6 merchants come out regularly, but at most we've had 15 merchants come out and really interact and engage. And they were mentioning just having like a group chat, and it was really nice to actually know each other and have these conversations. And then the quarterly town halls created a space for merchants to voice concerns. We also provided skill advancement and enhancement through workshop experts such as financial literacy for the local tax professional Miguel Mathos. We had cultivators from the Northeast Council for Sean come out talk about neighborhood beautification. And then we had grant writing done by my director Daniela, who helped emphasize how store owners can also apply for grants for-profit grants that can support their financial sources, and loans, of course, have a lot of payback. And finally, MPC also listened to the concerns and implemented programmatic changes such as meeting times, location preferences, and online communication strategies. So I also had some pictures of sidewalk sales that we did in conjunction with the Uptown Ability Housing Project Farmers Market. They're ongoing until November, but our funding only allowed us to do it for 2 days since we covered the merchants slot reservation, which was $30 a piece, and then we also provided tents and tables, so merchants were able to come out and set up, and just we also provided a DJ, and it was like a whole community atmosphere, tying in the community and also like allowing merchants more exposure. And so our last event of the season was an agency fair where we brought Riley, DOB, SPS, FDNY, Con Ed, and the tax professional out and have them set up in the bathroom of the CB12 and just have merchants come and interact with them and basically bring these resources right to their front door, so they don't have to sacrifice their time and their efforts to go and find it out themselves. So that's what we hope to do more of this coming year. And then finally, looking forward to 2024, 2025, as we build our scope and make these programs more sustainable. We also hope to add new features such as like merchant marketing packets, give them new marketing materials and freshman everything first, like everything covering up. A community mural in conjunction with like schools and cultivators and Krishan, where we can add some art and also have the youth involved in that art. MWBE certification in conjunction with the Bronx Chamber of Commerce to get more local businesses certified, and because obviously a lot of them are minority owned and run, and just have that certification right there with them. And then finally, a financial literacy series that will be a 4-part series run by Miguel Mathos from Tax Mold, and just give merchants more tools and information on how to, not only with their taxes, but how to find other sources of funding and how to keep their finances up to date with everything going on. So thank you guys.
Thank you, thank you.
That's great.
Any questions from the Zoom? From the,
Do you anticipate getting more funding? Because I know you said like with the market, farmers market, you were only able to fund like 1 day or 2 days.
The funding's gonna stay the same, but we hope to continue funding after the grant is over with, there's gonna be like Neighborhood 360 or other programs, but with the farmers market, it's probably gonna come from separate funding since we need to work on how to get merchants more involved with that.
Yes.
Because we also saw that it was hard for them to come out since they want to stay in their own storefronts on the weekend and run that. So maybe we would have to, in conjunction with new funding, get interns out to represent their stores. So, thank you so much.
It's a little question. And there may have been a discussion, but I just didn't hear it when it came on late. I apologize. How about storefront improvement? What was that? What's going on there? Anything?
So AB NYC doesn't do the cleaning, but we would give out materials. So there's another.
I'm not cleaning per se, but it's a structure. Storefronts.
Yeah, so there's another grant that we have from, it's called like Beyond Survival, it's an earmark grant from Congress that we do have to change the awnings and the
Right.
storefront itself.
Yeah,
So we have other projects going on to physically improve the storefront, but also like you said, like not just physically,
yeah,
in this grant, we are also providing the owners like sanitation fine schedules and like storefront cleaning education materials.
okay.
So that the owners can also just go in and, have more information to handle it themselves. But also during the town halls, we talked about concerns and how we can all work better. So like with a lot of the property owners and the store owners do the cleaning, but they see that people also like bring trash to their like corner.
Right.
So like how to solve those issues.
Let's say they wanted to change the door, say put a glass front. Now, is there a program that they could go to that would subsidize and would that be the owner or would that be the merchant that owns the shop? So who would be responsible for that?
It could be both, but I feel like that would also, you'd have to, that's a good thing for MPC to look for funding support those.
Okay,
This is part of the gun bed, correct?
Yeah, we are, so.
Are we gonna expand it, like, going towards?
Yeah, that's our,
Yes, that would be very good. So you would need participation from the local merchants.
yeah, and property owners.
So that would they have to contribute to,
Not the I think the merchants pay a small fee, but the property owners have to sign off on it. Because that's just how bid formation works in the city.
yeah, so like the banner stuff, I like it because, it's proud of the neighborhood, and I know like a couple of years back, 233rd for some reason, always had lights during the holidays, and they stopped it. You know what I mean? They completely stopped. I don't know if that had to do with the bid going away, because we had a bid here for the
Yeah.
So I would like to see that come back, especially on 233rd. So I don't know if that's part of the program that you're implementing with the banners. You know what I mean? That'd be nice to definitely see the light. Yeah, it's a good thing, because 233rd is a big corridor, so when it had the lights, it looked really nice.
Right.
So that's something to just think about.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to hear those things.
Any other concerns, comments from anyone else?
To me, the banners, are they subject to change or it's stationary?
They're stationary because we already went and scoped out what poles are eligible, because if it's not on the eligible pole, they'll take it down. So it's like the banners are actually, there's a lot on 233rd that are
Yes.
like available because of the way the poles are, but most of them are like around Gun Hill or like all the way by 242nd. So like just those, like, I guess you would say the main 3 points. Thank you so much for being in contact. Thank you.
Madam Chair, any questions?
Yes, I know.
No. I think we're done. Is anyone here for Easy Life Restaurant and Lounge? Anyone for Easy Life Restaurant and Lounge?
This is the first thing.
No one's here from Easy Life, so I guess we're gonna put them on, they're gonna come back in September.
Is this for the renewal? Is it,
Yeah.
is
for
that a
renewal.
renewal?
Yes, Easy Life Restaurant.
That's my
Is it a
question.
renewal?
Is it-
Yes, it's a
Alfredo?
renewal, yes. Yes,
If
it's a
it's the
renewal.
renewal, if it's for the renewal, we can go forward with that one. They don't really have to be here. It's the liquor license for the new establishment where they have to be here.
All right, give me 1 second.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's.
No.
So listen, don't vote on it. I got complaints about it. They were supposed to be here. The councilman's office also just contacted me on, let it go.
Okay, so we have
They need a 30-day. They're not, their license runs out next week. It's not my fault that they didn't come. I sent them information, that's on them.
Madam Chair?
Right on time.
Go with what she said. If that's what's
All right,
happening
so-
for them, that's it.
So they're gonna they can sell liquor in the summer. All right, any other concerns? Anything anybody wanna say? Next Thursday, I believe, besides our meeting, is the fireworks in Orchard Beach. So hopefully we can make the meeting quick. 'Cause-
Next Thursday is our full board meeting.
Yeah, and it's also fireworks, so
What time is the fireworks?
I think it's start like between 6 and 9.
We
The
have
only thing-
before
Let me
anything.
just- Alfredo,
Yeah, yeah,
Beatrice, the only thing that is going on that agenda is the cannabis. That's it.
okay, for this one here, okay.
Okay, all right,
That's
I
it.
already the agenda, but we'll add it.
Huh?
It should be this week.
We already sent out the agenda. We'll make sure we revise it and add it. Ms. Benita.
Okay, you shouldn't do that before you know what we're gonna actually put on the agenda for a committee.
Well, we gotta stick to
If
the
you put-
7 days.
I
And so if we
understand
would've
that.
waited-
I'm still
So-
having, we still have committees that have meetings after you set out that agenda, even though I understand you're trying to adhere to that 7 to 10 day notification. So
Right,
so if
what I-
for a suggestion going forward, if you're gonna put a committee on, just put economic development committee or education committee or whatever, and leave it blank.
I did. I
Oh,
put economic
Is it-
committee,
Yeah,
I put based on today's committee meeting, but I did add, you're on it, to be determined based on today's meeting, what you're gonna be voting on and talking about. But you're on
yeah.
it.
You can see we only have one item that we had to vote on today, but I'm sure you're gonna have something from the education, because I just saw something come out. And they're days before your full board meeting. Just making a suggestion.
No, you're right, and I did add them, the youth education came after we sent it out, and she was actually beyond the 7 days, right? Because she was supposed to submit it this past Tuesday, so unfortunately, people had to adhere to the 7 day notice.
Okay,
All right,
thank you, Beatrice.
thank you, Ms. Benitez.
Anything else anyone wants to speak about? I guess not. Alrighty, see you guys next Thursday, God willing. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Alfredo. Thank you, Sugi.
Alfredo, have your son call me.
Got you.
Tell him to call me,
Alright, got you. Thank you, sir.
okay? All right. Have a good
Have a
evening.
good night.
Okay, thank you.
Do you guys want an SY and P?